Alright, this video is going to cover adding terrain and satellite data into KexEdit so that you can work with terrain coasters. So right now I actually have some of this data loaded up. This is the this is the vortex plot at Kings Island that has stood vacant for way too long. You can see Beast here. This is Diamondback's Helix. You might be able to see Racer over here. But you'll also notice that if we go down, this isn't flat. So this is how we get, this is how we can work with terrain coasters in KexEdit. So to start off, we're going to need two additional pieces of software. The first is going to be Blender. Now, Blender is a 3D modeling program. We're not going to be doing a ton of overcomplicated 3D modeling. All of this is done. All of this is done pretty much automatically. All we do is tweak a few settings. So, first things first. When you open up Blender, as of this recording is Blender 5.1.1. When you open it up, you're going to have this little cube right here. We don't need the cube, so select the cube, delete the cube. Instead, what we need is an add-on called Blossom. Now, Blossom lets you pull in map data, terrain data, satellite data, and 3D objects from various sources. You need API keys to do this. The instructions for all of this stuff is going to be in the links provided in the description. One for Blender, one for Blossom, because that's all we need. Now, once we're in the editor and once we got Blossom installed, we'll go over here, this little arrow right here. We'll hit that, and we'll go down to the Blossom tab. Our first step is to select the area that we want to make satellite and terrain data for. So we'll hit select, and it will open up in our web browser. So just to recreate what I've done earlier, we'll zoom in to where we want to make our coaster. I'm going to zoom in on the vortex plot, and then over here I'm going to select Show Selection Rectangle. That pops this little bad boy up, and we can resize this to our needed dimensions. Beautiful. After that, we'll hit Copy, and we will go back into Blender. And under the extent pane, we'll hit paste. These numbers update. Now, first step, you want to pull in terrain because that's what we draw everything on top of. So I'm going to hit this drop down. I'm going to hit terrain, and I'm going to select import. Screen's now gray. Scroll wheel, zoom out, and then you can see now we have a rectangle. Not just any rectangle. If I pan around, and to do that I'm using my middle scroll wheel. If I pan around, I can see this little valley right here. This is part of the plot. Excuse me. So now that I've got that, my next step is going to be to pull in the satellite imagery. So I'm going to do image overlay. Now overlay, you can do ArcGIS or you can do Mapbox. I'm going to do Mapbox. Don't worry about the number of tiles. Just hit import. This will import imagery, and then you'll notice that it's still gray. Well, what gives? So I need to change my viewing mode. So I need to go up here into the right. You see these little globes. I'm going to select Material Preview, and now I can see the vortex plot. So we have terrain, we have satellite pulled in. We can import 3D objects. Normally you'd do this prior to importing the satellite, so it would be terrain, 3D objects, satellite. I choose not to because it creates rendering issues that I am nowhere near skilled enough to overcome. So I just don't worry about it. So now I got one more problem that I need to figure out, and that is when you import to KexEdit, if you don't do this next step, you're going to wind up having a sort of a sun blossom effect over the terrain. For some reason, when you import, Blender makes this a reflective surface. So it will reflect the sun as if it were metal or water. So it'll whitewash everything. As it stands, it's already going to be slightly whitewashed, but I'll still be able to see my plot boundaries. You know, this fence, these buildings, this access road, the trees. So it won't be perfect, but it'll be workable. To make it workable, we go over here to this right-hand pane, these little buttons along the side. I'm going to come down here to the red radioactive ball and select Material Properties. Now, I have two roughnesses I need to fix. I need the one under Surface. I'm going to increase that roughness to 1. I have no idea what that actually does. I just know that it is going to. Oh, that's what it does. It specifies the microfacet roughness of the surface for specular reflection and transmission. 0 is a perfect mirror, and 1 is completely rough. I moved that all the way to 1. All right, so that's making it so it's basically like showing the sun on sand versus a mirror. So there's one, and then there's another one. I believe it's down under. Yep, it's down under Viewport Display. Drag that to 1, and then what we're gonna do is go File, Export, that GLTF 2.0, and that file extension is going to be .glb. So I'm going to go into my KexEdit folder, wherever I want to save these, and I'm going to just save them there. I've done this a few times, so I'm overwriting one of my old files. Your button, if you haven't done this, or if you're not overwriting, it'll be blue. I'm going to hit the red button, you'd hit the blue button. And now, this is taken care of. Now, in KexEdit, once I get back there, in KexEdit, there's one other thing that we can do, and that is we can pivot this and move it so that our starting anchor point is where we want it. So in my case, I wanted to put it over here along the fence, and actually you can. Again, this is whitewashed. This would be gray, but this over here, you can barely see it. This is where Vortex's station used to be. So, actually, I'm in the right spot. But you can see I've begun working with a launch coaster, and if I go around again, you can see the terrain function over here. You can see it here, and you can also see that this launch track, well, this is higher than my track down here. So that is how you import satellite and terrain imagery into KexEdit so that you can work with terrain coasters. Hope this was helpful. If there's anything else you want to see for KexEdit, let me know. I'm still learning this program, so as I learn more, I can pass on the tribal knowledge. Happy coasters.